to get your husband to join in on some of our adventures then.
Yes. I'm not saying throw a couple in the middle of a room in Letchworth Village, okay, and say, okay, everyone have sex. It's not that simple. I'm talking about the buildup of sexual energy, and does it have to be real?
You see, this is the interesting thing about trying to test something like that. This is where it gets complicated. Unlike fear, sexual energy is actually focused on a specific type of thing. Now, I don't think that focal point is going to affect paranormal energy, but your ability to pick it out is going to be completely harder with a sexual energy than fear. If you throw someone into a building with fear, they're looking for every little bit of thing that may be, paranormal or, some kind of goblin coming down the, stairwell, whatever the case is. But if you have sexual energy, it's derived towards another physical person, and you don't give a fuck what's going on around you. You just want to mess that person. You want to do what you got to do, smack her ass, smack his ass. It don't matter. So your focal point is completely different, so it's going to be harder to detect all those subtle, little voices or whatever the case is, because you're not paying attention to it.
Right, but I'm not thinking, let's hey, my husband and I, let's go in and we start doing our thing. We're not paying attention. My thing is more like, let's take hypothetical.
I'd have to put you in a room. This is what I would have to do in order to completely test that. I would have to put you in a room with your husband, put on some berry white or something like that, maybe some candles, and hook you up some nice, maybe some lotion in there. Who knows? Whatever makes you moist.
Some lotion.
Well, anyway, now you would have to agree that you would want a home video made of you, because I'd have to load it up with cameras, put a bunch of recorders all the way around, and as well as K2 meters, on different points or static boxes or something, and let you get down and busy right there in the room while I videotape it and record it. And the reason why I would do it is because I know you're not going to be paying attention to those subtle little specific things, but my cameras is going to be more sensitive to it, and my recorders and my static boxes, and my goal is to hope that I wound up getting more activity during that particular 2 minutes than I would for the rest of the night.
Well, you've added a few way more complicated things to my theory. Okay, in a simple form, there was a time, long time ago, okay, went to a place, I was starting to see this guy, and we all know that when you first start dating, you really have that more sexual chemistry between you, that.
That's all it is. Yeah, when two people first start dating, that's all it is. It's 100%.
Right. And that's
just as good a time.
About.
You know what I mean?
I'm not talking about Joe and Jill have been married for 10 years, because it's gone. I'm not trying to be negative, but that's not what the energy I'm talking about. That's love. That's companionship. I'm talking about just
the raw energy, but you would need a biased, point of view, viewing everything to see if the activity is centered around those particular people.
Right, but here's my point. When I was in this situation a long time ago, went to a haunted location. Of course, the guy was with his, it was all me. He's just there because he wants to go see what it is that I do. I have no equipment or anything like that.
I know you're a female.
What?
You're a female. You lack the equipment.
Yeah, I have my own equipment. I have my special equipment that no man has ever been able to figure out. Am I right, ladies? So anyway, my point being is we're there and, just looking around, doing our thing, but, you turn around for a minute and, like, when you look at that other person and you're, in your head or in your body, like, oh, my God, and you're feeling that chemistry with that person, but you're not doing anything about it, but you feel it there. And so, but I'm still like, I'm like walking around being turned on by what I'm getting off that person, but yet I'm still investigating, seeing what I can pick up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, but again, you're not going to be able to do that with everyone because you walk in a room, and if you don't have that specific physical chemistry where whether you're 20 feet apart or you're 2 feet apart, where you just want to go and, like, start ripping that person's clothes off. I'm not saying you go do it. I'm just saying you want to, but you're still able to, like, really take that and focus it and use it to like try to feed more energy, so you're going to have things show up, or you're going to get more stuff to happen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I don't deny you would wind up getting more activity. It's just considering you're not paying attention as much as you want to believe you are, you would need someone documenting everything.
All right, well, next, when I want to do my theory, I'm going to have you come along and videotape. All right, and you can be paying all attention, and, you know, I'll be off having fun or something.
Okay.
But you can videotape that.
We can make that work. Now,
Okay.
considering you're talking about the non-sexual part, just that particular, you know, flea, you know, feeling, we really don't want to bring your husband. You're going to have to find someone else, because you've been married a long time, and I know damn well you're not walking down the street saying, "Oh, I want to rip his clothes off." I know you're not doing that. You're probably saying, "Hey, honey, fuck you."
Well, you know, it's true, you know, and I don't doubt he'd probably say the same thing about me. I mean, you know, but that's life. That's human nature. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can't imagine being in a relationship of, whether it's you're married or you just live together or whatever it is, for a long period of time where you still have that organic sensation. I mean,
doesn't happen.
Have you ever experienced that? I mean, you know.
Well, I was married once, and I'm not married anymore, and you know, that happened just once.
Mm.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. It's always good to quote Forrest Gump, right?
That's right. That's all I got to say about that. It's all good. So, but you considering you're psychic and psychotic, you know, it might be a little bit different for you.
Well, that's true. I mean, you know, I sometimes forget, like, I come from a different playing field than a lot of people, you know, doing what I've done since I was a kid. So I view things so differently. Energy for me is so different that, I don't know, maybe this is just my view, but someday I'm going to do that test test my theory and see how it goes. You're welcome to be part of it, or, you know, maybe I could just go myself, hire a bunch of really hot guys, be like, all right, guys, you know, we're just going to go in here, just do some ghost hunting. Okay, everyone take off their shirts because it's hot as hell in here. Yeah, you run that camera, you over there, you take off your shirt. Just, you know, get a room full of horny women, room full of hot guys, and everyone start videotaping and do a ghost hunt. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, I'd be the one videotaping, because you don't want me to take my shirt off. Just expose it there, you know. It's like, yeah, buddy. Look at that Buddha.
There's really a skeleton inside
Somewhere in there may be a child. Who knows? I'll find out in the morning.
Oh my God, that was a good one.
That's all good.
Who went and knocked that thing up?
Oh man! So, Dawn, tell us about your psychic connection, and how long have you known that you were some kind of psychic chick?
Let's see. I've known I was a psychic since I was about 2, and I've known I was psychotic since I was about pretty much when I hit 40. That's when that kicked in. No,
I think you realized you were psychotic when you started hanging out with me.
Yeah, I think that could have been the beginning. I think something snapped up in my head and all hell just broke loose.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You are excused.
Well, basically, when I was a kid, I used to see things that other people couldn't see. And hold on one second.
What the fuck are you coughing for?
Oh, that horrible tickle. See things other people couldn't see, and I'd say stuff to my parents, and I'd say, "Oh, that lady over there just said this, and this," and they'd be, "What lady?" And really, it was your classic epitome of the kid that's talking to dead people that other people don't see, and completely freaked out my father because there was no such thing. Really had a hard time growing up. I was really ostracized by the other kids because, now I look back and I go, all right, well, I can kind of see where they thought I was strange.
Yeah, well, you are strange.
Although I did grow up to be quite a beautiful woman who, if
they
could see
still
me
strange.
now, they wish they looked half as good at my age.
You're still strange.
Yeah, well, that is true. But I embraced it. I embrace it. And so, as I get older, I notice if I get around a lot of people, I could kind of hear what they were thinking, and that got to be really disturbing. And that still goes on. I can't be around crowds of people because I pick up on other people's problems and feelings and emotion, and it just overwhelms me and makes me physically ill. And sometimes I can meet someone, and if I feel that they're going to handle it, I might say, so and so. And I had one client, and husband had passed away, and her husband was standing behind her, and I said, do you know, he told me his name, and she said, yeah, that's my husband. He died 5 years ago. And I said, well, he's here, and thank God she was open-minded to it. And I just told her messages that he was telling me, and she left there that day, and she was like, this is the first time I feel like I can go on with my life, because he kind of gave her permission through me, and my God, it was like, okay, this is why this is a good thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not, because a lot of times people just don't get it, and it's not something I can really go around talking to too many people about.
Yeah.
You can handle it pretty good, whether you believe me or not, but you've seen me at work, so I don't know, what's your thought? I don't think I go too crazy with
From psychics?
Yeah.
They don't bother me, as long as some of them bother me, but most of them don't bother me. They leave me alone, and that's a good thing.
But in all honesty, I mean, well, I know you might be slightly afraid to answer this because you might have your testicles removed, but if